Hello there guys and welcome, my name is Westo and today I'm gonna show you a game called Wartune. And if you want to play this game at any point, you can find the link in the description. And if you want more game updates and introductions, you can subscribe to the channel. Wartune is a strategic MMORPG where you need to level up and upgrade a character, as well as maintaining and upgrading a city. You will go into single-player dungeons to do your quests alongside your troops, and you will also fight alongside guildmates and friends in multiplayer dungeons. Then you can also challenge other players in the PvP arena. I will show you the questing and battling first, then I will jump into the PvP, and then I will show you the town and character. So here I am inside a single-player dungeon, and you will simply move around your character with the mouse, and you need to make it to the end of the dungeon. On the way, you will face several monsters that tries to stop you, so you need to defeat these, get to the end, fight the end boss, and then you will get your experience and random dungeon reward. Enemies will spot you and attack you automatically, so I will show you how the fighting works. So here we have the battle screen. Battles works the same throughout the game. Of course, the players, the monsters and the environment will change. But you will always have your team on the left and the enemy team on the right. Your troops will attack random enemies on their own, and the hero will attack with the skills that you activate. And your skills have different targeting systems. So my first skill will target a random front row enemy, and my second skill will attack the enemy with the lowest health. Then I have a couple of defensive skills that targets myself, and then my very strong skill will attack a single front row enemy as well. Then you have other skills that will do multiple target damage and also be able to target your friends. So you have to use these strategically to clear out the monsters effectively. In a battle you have something called Rage. Rage is the battle resource in this game. Some skills will generate this rage and the better skills will then consume it. So it is a good idea to build up rage in the early dungeon where the monsters are a bit easier, and then unleash it on the harder mobs at the end or the boss itself. And you want to strategically manage this rage throughout the dungeon, and you can use your cheaper skills to clear enemies faster, or you can simply, if you can, stock up as much as possible. It depends on how strong your character is and what you're facing. But it's a good idea to save as much as possible to the boss. So here I am after a fight. I pick up some loot, and in the dungeon you won't find much other than some random loot and monsters, and the dungeons on their own are quite uninteresting, but the fighting is what you focus on in a dungeon. So here is the boss fight, and you will see that the boss has a health bar at the top. Sometimes they can have a number next to it showing you how many times you need to bring it to the bottom. And it is the same, you are on the left, the bosses are on the right, and I have unleashed my better skill on it to make some more damage, and now I can use my cheaper skills and my build-up skills to maintain a somewhat good damage output. And there we go, the boss is defeated. When you win, you get a grade of how you did during the dungeon. The better grade, the more experience you will get, and you then also get to pick a random dungeon reward. And then you are done. So let's take a look at the PvP real quick. You can find PvP in the arena. Here you can choose to do a 3 versus 3 arena party, where you can create or search for existing parties. And then you can invite your guildmates or friends or random players to fight with you. Then you have the challenge, which is the solo challenge duel, where you fight 1 out of 4 players that you pick around your level. You can see their rank, and then you pick which one you want to fight, and you can do this 10 times per day with a cooldown in between each fight. And the fighting works the same as it did in the dungeons. Your team is on the left and the enemy is on the right, and you have to use your skills and your troops to defeat the enemy. And this time around we are quite higher level, so it won't be that hard, but usually you'd have to manage your rage and skills as you would in the dungeons. And once you win, you get some experience, and then you will gain some rank. And after 3 days, you will gain a rank reward, which increases with the higher rank that you are, of course. So there we go, I got 10,000 experience. and my rank has increased slightly. And there is the cooldown before I can do another fight. And this is a good way to gain some extra resources and make sure that you have a good battle rating before you head into the PvP. We can also take a look at the multiplayer dungeon. This is found in the Hall of Heroes in Cloud City. Here you can find existing dungeon parties to do the dungeons with, or you can create your own parties as well. Then you choose a dungeon that you want to play, which you unlock with levels, and then you will invite your guildmates or friends or random players if you wish. And you can be 4 people in a multiplayer dungeon to fight the monsters and the boss. And as same as the dungeons in single player, you gain a reward at the end if you beat it. So let's take a look at our town. The town is our main area. Here you will be able to get your passive resource income. You will find and upgrade your troops in the barracks, and you will also unlock and research technologies in the academy. So here in the academy you can see the technologies, and technologies are essentially buffs to your troops, your hero, and your gold production. If you go into the barracks, you can see your troops, and you will unlock new troops the higher you level, and you need to upgrade these guys so that they are strong enough to fight alongside you in the dungeons. The town hall is the main building, which gives you gold per hour, and you need to upgrade this building before you can upgrade any other buildings in the town. Other than that, you can also do some farming to gain extra resources from the crops that you get. And you also have a single player experience dungeon outside your town to get you some extra boost in your levels. Other than that, there isn't much to do in the town itself. You can store some extra gold in the warehouse, and you need to upgrade your population to hire more troops. You will not start with all the buildings, you start with the barracks and the town hall, and as you level up your character in the beginning, you will unlock more and more buildings. But you'll have the essential buildings pretty quickly at first. So let's take a look at our character. There are 3 classes in the game. The first one you see here, which is the Knight, that is the more tanky class. Then you have the Mage, that focuses on multiple target magical damage and healing. And then you have the Archer, which focuses on high physical damage. And in this game you have something called battle rating, and this number is something you want to get as high as possible. And this is done by leveling up your character, maintaining and upgrading the gear that you have, also upgrading the technologies in your town, and then you can also get some passive buffs in the Astro, which I will show you shortly. The gear is upgraded in the blacksmith. Here you can enchant to raise the basic stats of your gear. You can put gems in them to get boost in your attributes. You can craft gear from scratch, and then you can refine and recycle your gear to your liking to tweak it even further. Then you can also convert your gems into the other attributes so that you can focus your playstyle even further. In the Astro that I mentioned, you will pick passive buffs as well. These can be both offensive and defensive. And you spend some gold, pick what you want, and then you will combine them inside of the Astrals. And then you'll put them next to your character in slots that you upgrade or unlock as you level up. And this will give you some boost to your character and therefore also raising your battle rating. Your character has of course a skill tree. This is the Knight skill tree. Here you will pick and choose as well what you want to level and play with. If you want to play more defensively, you'll pick the shield skills. And if you want to play more offensive, you can pick the offensive skills. And you get a point when you level up, and then you will simply use these in the fights as you go. So, I hope that covers the basics of Wartune. For a strategic MMO, I think it is alright, to say the least. Graphically, it is certainly not the best, but I think it is okay for a browser game for sure. The pace is good at first, but the game gets a bit slower the higher you go. Although the game gets more and more features and variety the higher as you go as well. Battles start out pretty basic too, but also they get a more tactical and fun when you reach harder dungeons and harder bosses. And you will also do more fighting alongside your guildmates, which gives it a bit more action and variety as well. Later on, I think you most likely play this in sessions, since you have to wait for some cooldowns, but you will do more PvP fighting and do some dungeons with your friends and your guildmates. Thank you for watching, and if you want more introductions and gameplay, please subscribe to the channel, and it helps a lot. I hope you enjoyed, My name is Westo, and I see you next time.